Hey guys, this is Nate from Rage Saver, and this is my review of Captain America: The First Avenger, the movie. And unfortunately, James and Dylan couldn't join me in this production of this review, and so I'm just gonna do a solo review, and I'm not gonna make it like 10 minutes long like the other ones. I'm just gonna try wrapping up as fast as I can and explain stuff. But before I do go into the review, I gotta explain one thing. Before I did see this movie, actually, I saw the trailers for both Thor and Captain America. Now, I'm just going to admit now, I didn't think that either of them looked that great from the trailer I saw. I thought they both looked very goofy, and I thought that it was impossible to make both Thor and Captain America serious. Like, I thought it was going to be really goofy or just flat out, like, tries to be serious, but then you just laugh at it. So, I saw Thor first. And I was surprised. I didn't think the actor for Thor would do really good, but he did. I thought he fit really well. And I thought that the dialogue and the characters were really likable, and the story was really well told. So, yeah, I was surprised. But then came Captain America. And so you could kind of expect my expectations, but so you know what I kind of wanted to get into. I thought it'd be goofy, but then I saw Thor and I thought hope has been revived, and so I saw it, and unfortunately it did disappoint. Okay, so before I do start trolling on this movie, I want to say that there is good stuff in it, and I always like saying the good before the bad. So here is what I thought was so good about it. Number one, the first hour. The first hour was very well told. It explained Captain America's history very well. I don't know if it's true to the comics or not. I haven't read it. Sorry. I don't know. But it explained the story very well, I think. And also, I thought the ending was wrapped up very well. And the tie-in with the Avengers was probably my favorite out of any of the Marvel movies, or the ones involved with the Avengers. It was really good. When you see it, you'll like it. Second, the actors. And again, yeah, they were fit for the role. Obviously, Hugo Weaving is going to do awesome as a villain. He's just a natural at that. Chris Evans surprised me. I didn't think he would do good, but yeah, he did alright for his role. I thought he fit really well. And who is that other chick again? Oh, Haley Atwell. That's her name. I don't know where she's from. Sorry, but she actually fit the role pretty well, I thought. Now to get to the bad parts. And oh boy. Okay, so I said that the first part was very good, and the last part was very good. I didn't mention the middle because the middle is the biggest flaw of this movie. The real problem with it is the fact that it's way too fast-paced. When I watch movies like this, like all the Marvel movies especially, I want it to be very balanced between the action and the story. I wanted the action to be very fast-paced and the story to be explained very well. And a lot of times when I watch movies like this, especially comic book movies, they tend to put the story like completely unexplained, and they put a lot of action to cover it. And for this movie, it did the complete opposite effect. Whereas the whole story was explained, or at least the parts of the story, not the very important ones either, were explained very well, too well almost. Like, it was unnecessary almost. And the action was just like thrown in there into this huge montage of like just random stuff, and it didn't transition very well, and it just didn't work for me. I mean, yeah, you want to see a Marvel movie with action in it, and it was almost like they just put a montage of all the action scenes into this one 5-minute bit of it, and then like the whole the obvious hero takes down the villain fight scene, making it really long. And I didn't like that. I thought it was a very poor choice, and it's probably going to lose some fans if they watch that. But that's just my opinion, though, so whatever. Part two of why I didn't like it. It ripped off Star Wars so bad. It's almost funny. There was a part where Red Skull was escaping on a ship, and he has like this turret just shooting out. It even has the same sound effect as Star Wars. And I was like, why? and then another thing was the fact that even though it's set in the 1940s, and even though the Hulk, which is set into this generation, 2000 whatever, and they have normal guns in the 2000s, they have a bunch of these laser guns in the 1940s that like just completely annihilate. And again, it completely rips off Star Wars again. It's almost funny how bad it is. And that's a very big contradiction, since you don't really see those weapons again, but I guess maybe it was destroyed or something, I don't know. Oh yeah, and another movie that was ripped off was Inception, actually. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but there's this really, really badly, it almost seemed like it was trying to be Inception moment, and I don't know, it was bad. It was painfully obvious. Yeah, number 3, in the middle, despite the fact that I praise the actors and the dialogue, like the whole connection, or like the audience's connection to the characters, was very poor in the middle. It was like a lot of people seemed to die in there, but you just didn't care, and it was just like, okay, life moves on, I don't really care. And also the romance between Captain America and whoever that chick was. It just seemed very, again, fast-paced, and that's the whole problem with the whole middle part, is just everything was so fast-paced, and you just, like, they went from, like, getting to somewhat close friends to, like, oh, I love you, on the whole middle part, and I was like, no, that doesn't work. And, yeah, so that was a huge problem for me. The fourth one that I'll mention, and again, just keep in mind, I haven't read any of the comics, so I have no idea if this was in it or not. And if it is, okay, I'm sorry, but I have no idea. In the movie, Tony Stark is somewhat of a major character in this. If it's not Tony Stark, it's his dad, and that would make more sense. But from what I got, it seemed like it was Tony Stark, even though it's set in the 1940s and he's in his 20s, and in the movie he's an Iron Man, he's like in his 40s within a whole 60 or 70 year time span. That's a clear contradiction. So it's probably his dad. I have no idea if this is Tony Stark or not, so don't troll me. I haven't read the comics. But Tony Stark apparently created, or was at least had a part in creating Captain America. That just really gets under my skin for one reason only: originality. It just loses its touch if another superhero created a superhero, especially if Captain America is the first Avenger and he's created by another Avenger. That is a very big problem for me in the movie, and I have no idea if this is in the comics or not. Maybe that wasn't even Tony Stark. I have honestly no idea, but this is just the impression I got of it. So don't troll me, okay? I mean, that just ruins the whole like magic of Captain America. That loses its originality then. And another thing, or actually the last thing that is the problem for this is the whole the background, or the environment. Actually, the environment of the movie. There was this very weird CG effect to every single set, except maybe the woods, which seemed like the only natural place. Like even like the snowy mountains place, it just seemed very fake, and it just, everything in that whole movie, like the whole set, just seemed fake. Even like the ruined cities was just like, okay, it's just not natural. It wasn't natural, and that again, it's one of my biggest pet peeves for movies, is when they take something that's not natural and they use that for like most of the movie. And I hate when movies do that, and that really bothered me, is the fact that just about all of the environment that you see is completely fake. And pretty much that's all the cons I could think of, at least at the top of my head. But I mean, for what it is, Captain America did do some stuff right. I mean, I did think that the actors were good, and I thought the first and last part were really good. And like I said, the Avengers whole story was tied in very well into this movie. But the whole middle part was just it was so flawed that I can't give it like a great movie rating like Thor. I thought Thor was great, not fantastic, but it was good. And I can't do this to Captain America mainly because of the middle part. It was just so flawed that you could practically spot out every single flaw in it. And that was a big problem for me. So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Yes, that's a weird score, but I'll give it a 5.5. And so this is my review of Captain America, the movie. I'm Nate from Rage Saver, and please subscribe.